guys, what's up and welcome back to the Satin crew. So today we will actually check out the A45S and see how the process has been going on the car. Seeing how much more of the car is now PPF to satin black, and also seeing what is left to do. And yeah, this should be quite entertaining to watch, just following up on the process on how we get our cars done. And yeah, I will show you everything again, and I hope you enjoy this video. So before actually heading into the shop, I just want to say I came with the M5 competition LCI today, and today there's like a little satin black theme at Elite Rev, I think, because there's also a satin black RS6R which looks quite beastly, and then there's also a C63S in satin black and a GT2 RS in gloss black. So now it's time to go inside and actually check out how far they have come with the PPF on our A45S, and I'll catch up with you in there.
Salut, ça va? Nickel, parfait, parfait. J'ai... Oui. Il n'a pas fini.
We are inside now, and the process on the car looks incredible. They have already finished the other side of the car, a few parts off the trunk, and it's really starting to look like a Satin crew car right now. The bumper still has to be done and the bonnet, but that is good because we can film it and I can show you guys exactly what's going to happen. And then we also wanted a few little red details which will be made either today or tomorrow, I'm not quite sure, but I will show you everything now. And yeah, so as you can see on the vlog which we just uploaded on Wednesday, this was still in gloss black and now this is all in satin black. So you can actually see a nice contrast from the gloss black to the satin black, and they have finished the entire side and also the roof of the car up here, including the little spoiler and a few satin parts already on the trunk. Still missing the bumper, but that is good news. And yeah, the other side was done before. From last video you might have seen it. And yeah, so basically now it's going to be time to actually finish the car off with the PPF and yet again show you the process, because it simply looks amazing and is really cool to watch, I think. On our A45, if you look at the rims, you can see this silver ring. This will also be changed into red for a little detail, and then there will be in general a few cool pinstripes on the car which are going red. The entire grille, it won't be chrome anymore, it will go to gloss black and satin black. Same for the Mercedes star, so it's literally going to turn into a stealth bomber, which should look really amazing. And these right here are our winter tires for the A45S, which are usually in a silver and a black combination, but now they are spray painted, well not spray painted, but painted in satin black as well, which makes them look a lot better in our opinion, because usually you have this massive piece right here is usually silver and it really makes the rims look odd. But like this, they look sporty and quite good as well. Obviously not as nice as the rims which are for the summer tires, but that is okay. It will be good for some snow fun, and that is the most important thing. As you guys can see, the interior is still in multiple pieces. The store card is still missing, and the entire trunk is also still not back in one thing. Oh, this side is actually back in. I did not realize that. But yeah, this side is as good as done basically. Obviously perfect fitment, and yeah, it just looks so cool to see. I hope the camera focuses well to see that you can't really tell where there's a cut from the PPF to the paint. And yeah, I'm always just in love with this contrast from the black to the gloss, so it should be really cool. And now it's not long until the whole car will be done. as you have just seen, the gel has been now sprayed onto the bumper itself and will now also go onto the PPF, so it can basically stick perfectly fine. And yes, so look, now it's being sprayed onto the piece for the bumper. And the bumper piece is now being stuck onto the A45. You can see how it sticks straight away. Now just adjusting it for the perfect fit. So as you can see, it's literally gel. You can just push it around, which looks quite cool. It's also really crazy to see how fast the PPF itself actually sticks onto the car. And yeah, it's already satin black here, so that is brilliant. And this is where it gets so satisfying when you just see the gel come out of the bottom. Alright, so here we have the car. As you can see, the entire back is now finished already. Like, everything is satin black, having a few gloss details which just make it stand out a bit more. Like this fin right here, the whole diffuser will stay gloss as well. So you can get a good idea of how the back of the A45S will look at the end. We also decided to go for a smoked look on the rear lights, which will be done later, so they're kind of more dark and satin as well, giving it a really like sinister look. This side was done quite a while ago, also the beginning of the front here. So for today it's going to be the bonnet which has to be done, and the front bumper as well. And then let's see how quickly everything moves, if we can attach some red detailing today as well. On this side, as you have seen just before, it's also already PPF. And yeah, in general, it's all looking very good and very promising. And I think on this side, the door panel is now back in as well. Yeah, so the interior is back to normal. Just looking very nice and very clean. Okay, so right now let's get the work started and let's continue the process on the A45S. Also, I just wanted to say that I hope you enjoyed the video from last Wednesday of the first steps of preparing the A45S for the PPF. Just before applying the PPF now on the bonnet, just making sure that everything is nice and clean, and then also using this gel so that the PPF can actually stick to the bonnet. So this is the piece for the bonnet of the car, which is now being also cut into piece that we can apply to the car. The gel has now also been applied right onto the bonnet. As you can see here, the structure of the gel. And actually, if you put it between your fingers, it just feels like water, which is quite cool. And now also there will be the gel applied to the PPF itself. Alright, so let's put this piece onto the bonnet. You can see straight away how the PPF connects to the gel and actually sticks to the bonnet, which is quite cool. And now it's going to be time to get rid of all the gel between it. As you can see up here. And like this, almost the entire bonnet looks done already. Like, and this is like probably like a minute of work and it almost looks done. It's so cool. And I've watched it multiple times now, and every time I see it, exactly this movement here, it's just so satisfying, because there's no bubbles, no nothing. It's just simple perfection. So another thing which Elite Wrap does for the placement of the PPF, they actually use something which is gel based and not water and soap based, because basically if you use the gel absorbs all the, let's say, particles or dust which could be on the paint, meaning as soon as the gel is pushed down and off the car, there won't be any dust, meaning there won't be any spots or white particles which are beneath the PPF itself. So as you can see here, the gel itself is very thick, and all of the gel is basically taking all the dust away from the bonnet so that this is a perfect fit and finish. And yeah, that's actually quite cool to know, I think, because if you use the water and soap base, it basically just doesn't take the dust out, and the gel itself takes everything away and makes life easier, and also makes the finished product look way cooler. And for me, this is like the biggest and best part. As soon as the bonnet is done, you really know how the car is going to look at the end. And as you can see, you have this satin effect already. The amount of lines you can now see on the car is simply incredible. And just seeing the edges and how the whole finishes. If this was gloss right now, you would not be able to see the lines this well. So let's get the bonnet lifted. So all of these excess pieces of PPF can now also be stuck into here, meaning that you will not see any cuts or anything like that on the actual PPF and on the car itself too. So also removing all of the gel which is on here, just tidying everything up a bit, and as soon as the bonnet is closed, you will be able to see how this satin piece connects to this, basically seamless and no cuts seen. You can actually see it perfect here, so the piece is slowly being attached to the bonnet itself, and yeah, it looks quite cool. Now also cutting the edges of the PPF really closely to the bonnet, but again, like I said in the last video, the bonnet itself is not being touched with the knife, so you can get a perfect finish without actually harming the paint itself. And as you will be able to see in a few seconds, this piece of PPF will be removed very easily and smoothly. So as you can see, you just pulled it off, and now you have a seamless finish, and you won't actually be able to tell where the PPF starts and ends because all of these corners have been done as well. And also down here, you can see the same thing. There's no way of actually seeing that the car has been PPF'd and is not factory satin black. The bonnet itself is now completed, and as you can see, nothing. Everything is seamless, as I have mentioned by now really often. But yeah, now you can really see how the car comes together, how all of it is starting to be satin, and now it's time to move on to the front bumper and also blacking out the grille. So the PPF will be finished in this video for sure, which is quite cool, and we can have the first look at the car being all satin black. But this part right here will be hard, will not be easy, because as you can see, you have all of these edges and also going around all of the aero kit, and yeah, a lot of work, but I'm sure at the end it will be worth it. It will look really cool, hopefully, and I hope that you guys will like the car as well. For the front bumper, there are a few pre-cut pieces which you can see right here. So those are all the pieces which at the end will go onto the bumper, and in total there are 5 pieces, I think. So 5 pieces in total which will go onto the front bumper and basically protect it all and give it a nice satin finish. Something which also has to be said, that only for the bumpers they use the pre-cuts, and that is simply because a lot of these edges you would have to get extremely close with the knife when cutting it by hand. So to avoid the risk of actually harming the paint of the car, and also to speed up the process in general, it makes more sense for these parts to actually use pre-cuts. As you can see, the pre-cuts are currently being sprayed with the gel again and are now already being applied to the car. As you can see, the pre-cuts are extremely exact, and will leave the parts which are not supposed to be covered out and will give a cool finish at the end. For these pieces here, you can actually see that there's an excess amount of PPF which is actually being made on purpose. So the pre-cut comes out of a program from Expel in this case, and would usually not have this excess of PPF, but the guys at Elite Wrap basically use this excess PPF to really cover up all the corners and save and protect as much PPF as possible. And this top front piece is now being completed as well, so we're moving on to the next part right here. So this piece will now also go onto the A45. Now it's going to be time to cover up these pieces right here. So yet again, the gel has been applied straight to the paint and now also onto the PPF. And as you can maybe see, I'll actually just walk around. This piece looks quite difficult to me at least. So there's a lot of holes and a lot of cuts. I'm happy I don't have to do this because I would simply mess it up. All of these little holes also, just like these here on the side, these are actually the parking sensors. So the PPF basically has to be moved and adjusted to give the perfect fit around the parking sensors. Else your car will basically beep the whole time. We have the same story in the front where there's the holes for the number plate holder, which also need to be basically surrounded by the PPF. And as you can see here on the left, the PPF has already been folded in here, and that will be done on this side as well. So you can actually see and compare how this side looks, which is not completed, and then the side where it's already been folded down, which will now also happen up here towards the grille. Here we go, on this side all the parts have now been clipped in, as you can see here in the light. Even this little piece here is protected, and also up there, which is, as you can see here, not fully done yet. But most of it is actually done, and now the only piece which still needs PPF, I think, is this piece and this piece, which should be one piece again, I think. And yeah, then the PPF process itself is done already. Obviously then there has to be checks, the ceramic coating has to be applied, and also our little red details which we are adding onto the car, which will be on the aero pack, so a little pinstripe here and there, also a pinstripe which will go along this line here, and also covering up the silver piece on the rim here, to basically have a nicer contrast from the satin black to the red, because as you know we always spec our cars in black and red details. The same thing will actually also happen on the mirror here as well, so there will be a pinstripe in red going on there, and we will also keep this gloss, as you can see for example here as well. There's a few parts which will always remain gloss just to give a nice contrast. And on the blade of the spoiler itself there will also be a pinstripe in red, and it's yet to be decided if we actually add pinstripes to the diffuser itself. But I personally think that is the way to go, just make it all a bit more mean and aggressive in general. Now the same process as always, another piece of PPF will be added to the car now, which I think will be this top part here. So these will actually be in multiple pieces. Oh no, it's actually the part down here. Just to see in how much detail they actually go, this piece right down here, which personally I would probably not protect because I wouldn't think anything would hit it, but yeah, this piece is also being protected right now. And yeah, that's actually quite cool, I think. And at the end of the day, you will not see the connection between the two PPF pieces, which is quite nice. And then obviously all of these little pieces have to be PPF individually, and a lot has happened on this car the last few minutes. So all of these gloss parts down here have gloss PPF on them now. Also this entire piece is finished, the top piece is finished, everything around the headlights. And yeah, now it's only a few more pieces to go until the PPF process is honestly going to be done. Okay, so as you can see here, there's water being sprayed onto the car now, basically getting rid of the residue which comes from the gel, which obviously leaves down here out of the PPF. So all the gel is being sprayed away with the water so it doesn't leave any marks. And yes, so getting almost being sprayed here with water, so thank you very much. Yeah, well, that's it for that. We are only missing the mirrors on the side of the car now, and then the entire PPF process is actually done. So the A45S is finished. But one more thing, as you know, the car does not have door handles right now, and these have now been completed as well. Fully black. One part satin black, the other gloss black to provide a cool contrast. Let's have a look at these door handles. So, as you can see, as I just mentioned before, satin and gloss black. For the door handles, Elite Wrap has actually used normal wrap and not PPF because it's simply easier to get it around all of these edges. The PPF would be too thick and basically also too stable to bend it, so they have used normal wrap, but you will not be able to see a difference. But yeah, so these things will go on the car and then the PPF process is done. But it will not end there, so there's a few more things which have to be done. Red details and the ceramic coating, also blacking out the grille of the car, but after that the whole project will be finished. And now it's actually going to be time to add this back to the door, so you can actually enter the car and leave the car, and you simply pop it in like that, I guess.
And screw it back.
So you have to screw the handle back in so everything is nice and fitted. And after that, I think the door handle is on the car. Here we go. How good does this look with the gloss and satin black? Perfect. And let's see if the door works. It works. Perfect. This first side is now looking way more complete. Having the door handles makes a massive difference. So now it's going to be time for the filler cap and also to smoke out the rear lights of the car as well. Another thing which is being done right now as well, the boot is being built back inside of the car and the rear lights have been attached now as well. So the next step for this will be that there will be a smoke look being wrapped over the lights itself. The top lights up here are still missing, but they will be attached very shortly as well. The beating heart of our A45 is now also uncovered again and is able to breathe. Also, look at this detail here. It's quite a nice touch, I think. Yeah. It's time to dry everything off, add the benches and go to the final stretch. So this will be it for today. It's been a long day, it's getting dark already outside, so it's time to head home now. I hope you guys like how the A45 looks. Right now, the next time you're going to see it, it's probably going to be finished, and let's hope it will look amazing, but I'm pretty sure it will. So thank you for watching, take care, and bye bye.